and so much insight. Um, well, I just want to start off by saying I'm 28.
Okay.
Um, I recently had a lot of information revealed to me about somebody that I was dating.
Ooh.
Um, it was long distance. We met in November of 2023, and then I always considered myself to be a very secure person. Um, I had pretty healthy relationships before dealing with this man. Um, just for some context, I was raised as an only child, but had a very big and close extended family.
Okay.
I didn't have my father in my life, and I actually did a lot of work, especially in 2020, of finding my dad and actually building a relationship with him. But in doing that, I also kind of learned about his limitations and the reasons why he made the choices that he did in regards to not being in my life. But through that discovery, I also met my brother who showed me what it's like to actually have like a stable man and in their life, and also he's kind of shaped the idea of what I would want my partner to look like somebody
Mm.
that I would want to have in my life. Not entirely, because I also have had other male influences in my life, but meeting him and building a relationship with him has impacted my life. So, back to the man that I was just dating. About 2 weeks ago, I went to go visit him because we have been on and off throughout the year, mostly with me, finding things out and then blocking him and then letting a couple months go by and then him reaching out and, making a grand gesture and then kind of going back. So it was like a back and forth. And then this last time, um, I've I've also changed a lot during this process because in this last year I moved from Miami to New York. I've completely changed my life. I've been able to get the job of my dreams. I'm building a life for myself in New York City, and every other aspect of my life has been going pretty well, and it's built my confidence as well. But the only aspect of my life that I felt like I was lacking was, I guess, in romance. And I decided to break no contact the last time, and he was on his journey. I was also doing my own thing. Like I was dating around and seeing what was out there. But I decided, we both decided that we would give each other a quote unquote real chance. And I really thought that he was taking things seriously. His actions were saying that. But I I actually decided to observe Ramadan this year. Um, Even though I'm Catholic, I decided to participate as well. And the fasting and prayer, I feel like it did so much to me. It did so much for me in regards to my connection with God. I really asked for clarity, especially on the situation, because I still had a lot of doubts. And when I went to go visit him, we had a really great weekend. And then when I was leaving to go back home, my flight got canceled. And I don't know if you guys could put two and two together, but yeah, I did decide to break no contact. So I do take accountability for that. But I had some hope. But yeah, so that flight getting canceled really was God's intervention, because I saw things for what they were, because I, you know, obviously I'm leaving the person who I'm dating. Like he dropped me off at the airport flight gets canceled, you would assume that he'd be the person that I reach out to, to come pick me up or something. So called his phone. Everything was going straight to voicemail. I ended up taking a lift to his house, and lo and behold, there was another woman there at 1:30 in the morning on a Monday. So, yeah, it was insane. Nothing crazy happened, but he showed me exactly who he was. Didn't let me into his house, even though I was literally staying there the entire weekend. Um, like he booked me a hotel, and after that, that was it. Luckily, I still have my life here in New York, so after that situation, I obviously was crying the whole night. Got on my flight the next day and came back to New York. And, I've been really covered in love because of my community and my mother and my family and my friends who've been pouring into me. But, it kind of gave me an opportunity to really look at myself and look at the choices that I decided to make in regards to this person, only because I felt like he fit a mold as to what I wanted in a husband. And because he fit that mold, I just felt like I had to give him another chance. And at this point, like, my self respect won't let me even think about ever contacting this person again. Um, but yeah, because this is still so fresh, I'm still going through the motions and allowing myself to feel how I feel. But it's been great to listen to you because I've picked up a lot of uh, good information that's helping me throughout this healing process. So, yeah.
Well, first of all, thank you for sharing that. It's much appreciated as well for being vulnerable and sharing your story as well. It's not easy to do so, and yeah, it's sometimes sometimes rejection is God's protection, as they would say. You know what I mean? And so
Amen.
that time
Mhm.
allowed you to kind of just be emotionally objective, where your emotions are not necessarily drawn into it. The fasting and praying helps. It puts you in a space where you can really look at things objectively,
Mhm.
and sometimes you realize this situation isn't for me, and then you take the L, which is the lesson. You learn the lesson and you move forward. So yeah, thank you for sharing that, Audrey. Thank you.
Yeah. But I also just want to say that before that flight got canceled, there were a lot of red flags that I overlooked
Mm,
just during the weekend alone.
what about those
Um,
things?
certain comments that he made, like, um, when we were just having a pleasant moment, um, he made comments about my face, like my facial features, like unprovoked. And it came out of nowhere, like just talking about like my nose and my mouth. And I was like, what? Like, why are you saying this? Like, obviously, I'm gonna stand up for myself. And I was like, I don't understand. Like, you're making comments about my face, but people literally compliment me on my face every single day. I'm not saying that I'm big headed or anything, but like, you can make fun of anything else. Like, it's kind of crazy to make fun of my face when you say that you love me and you say that you like me so much. So, but even then, like, I'm thinking back at like the fact that I overlooked it makes me question a lot of things that I like. It makes me question how I present myself in relationships because if that flight didn't get canceled, I would have gone home in Delululand thinking everything was all good, even though the signs were there.
Mm,
Yeah, and I don't know, it just makes me really scared to open up myself again. I know I have to keep my heart open, but in this time of healing, it concerns me that I'm able to overlook things like that. Like, I feel like that's like blatant disrespect. And I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say.
Not a problem. Listen, fear is not a bad thing. It is to let us
Mhm.
know that there is something that we are not sure. We're not sure how to handle. We are, we don't feel like we're equipped for the very thing. Emotions, we don't have to deny them. Because without fear, we don't get courage. We don't get bravery. You know what I'm saying to you? It's only bravery when we're in the face of fear. So, don't deny those feelings. They're real feelings. Accept them, and let them send you the message. The message is we need to work on resources and on tools to empower ourselves to be able to stand up for ourselves. Because what you're describing is you not standing up for yourself. You know what I mean? When those red flags were going off, you decided to be passive. And the reason why we're
Mhm.
passive is because we've trained that we've been taught we've been taught that, and so unfortunately, when it comes to relationships, we do what we've been trained to do. You know what I'm saying to you? So, I mean, I can't do it here, but obviously, if you were in coaching, this is the kind of things we'll talk about, which is now giving you the tools to start working through and practicing how to develop a voice, how to have boundaries, and be able to speak up as well in that moment. Because a lot of times we don't want to do it because we don't know how to, and also because sometimes we've got a delayed reaction. We heard it, but we didn't even hear it. And then like later on,
Right.
like, oh damn, I heard that. Da, 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 da. So
I mean, I did address it. Like, I did ask him. I was like, "Why would you even say that? Like, it's so crazy." And then we were both working from home that Monday. That was when I was supposed to leave, but we are working from home. And I went back to my work because I was like, "That was really weird. I didn't like that at all." And then I had to go back to work. But when we were both done for the day, he came back and he apologized, and he was like, "Oh, you do have a beautiful face. I'm so sorry for saying that." But I just kept on asking him, like, why would he feel comfortable to say that? And he couldn't answer. And that's when I kind of let things go, just because, like, in my mind I was like, well, these are the last few hours of us together. Like, I don't want us to have an argument. And then boom. So but now I